All right, this is a screencast of the ipython notebook running on EC2. So first, let's start up the ipython notebook AMI by using star cluster, which is a really cool tool for manipulating EC2 instances from MIT. We're using the publicly available AMI 74D00C1D, and I'm just going to start it on a large instance. You guys are welcome to try this out on your own using Amazon Web Services. The only other thing you need to know is the password for this ipython instance is going to be gadzooks. Alright, so Star Cluster started up in an EC2 instance. Let's go check it out on Amazon Web Services. And you can see it is running, but it's still initializing. So let's just fresh. Star Cluster can also list your instances here. One note, if you're going to start the AMI on your own, you need to make sure that HTTPS is open. So that's port 443. You can do that in EC2 by going to your security groups and going to whichever security group you're using for the AMI and checking to make sure that 443 HTTPS is open. Alright, so let's go back to the instance list, refresh. Okay, so this is going to be at this URL. As you can see, you can also get the same URL from Star Cluster. So now let's go to that URL. So HTTPS, paste. It's a self-signed certificate, so you'll just click proceed anyway. And here you need to type gadzooks, enter. Alright, so this is the opening page of the ipython notebook. And basically here you have a list of notebooks. And what we're going to do is, rather than using the list of notebooks that I preloaded on the AMI from the ipython examples, I'm just going to go grab one from download. And the nice thing about ipython is the ipython notebook is you can just drag the ipython notebooks into the list. So here's one. I'm just going to drag it on there. And I'll say upload. So that's uploading it from my computer to the EC2 instance. And now let's click on it. So this loads the ipython notebook. And so this is basically a web notebook that lets you interactively edit and execute Python code. So for example, we can execute print hello world, and you'll see the output of hello world. One of the immediate nice features about the notebook that you may notice is that you can include text comments, and this is in Markdown, so you can put in things like bold and so on. So the first thing to know about the notebook is that it really runs Python in pretty much the normal manner. So you don't need to write Python in any special way. You can just write your Python code, import things, and so on, and get the output. Here the Python code is being executed on the computer running the ipython notebook, which is in this case an Amazon rental machine. Most people, I think, run it on their local machines. So it's wherever the back end of the web notebook is running. Okay, so what else can you do? Well, interactive plotting works. So this is using matplotlib. And here you can see a plot of a simple chirp sine wave. You can take things from the official Python. You can take things from doc tests or the official Python tutorial, paste them in, and actually an ipython notebook will strip off all of the syntax stuff here and just run it as in Python. Errors are shown nicely, so you can sort of see exactly where in tracebacks and things, where in the code your errors are happening. One comment, the way I'm running the code is I click on it, I can edit, I can print, well, probably not after the traceback. I can put in print, this shows a traceback, and then hit Shift, Enter. And that actually runs the result. Another nice feature, you can do tab completions. So you can say, I want to know what starts with OP, open. I can find out what open does by putting a question mark afterwards. See this? I can also put a open paren there and hit tab, and it'll give me a little pop-up box saying, giving me some tooltip. So that's pretty neat. So IPython Notebook does give you the output as it's generated. So here you're seeing a for loop that sleeps half a second in between printing, and you see the prints as they happen. This is all made possible via the really awesome 0MQ library. Also pretty cool, supposing you manage to crash CPython, which is not necessarily easy, but here's a little piece of code that will do it. What you'll get is a window that pops up and says, do you want to restart the kernel? Presumably the answer is yes. So if you have full markdown here, which contain all of the formatted code and stuff that you want. It'll include syntax highlighted code, etc., etc., etc. You can include mathematical expressions, as in LaTeX, by using just indicating them with dollar signs, and they'll be rendered nicely. But there's a whole host of more advanced features. So you're in the IPython shell. So if you're used to all the IPython magic, like running shell commands and executing files via %run and listing directories and so on, you can do all of that. The IPython Notebook display really can display pretty much anything. So in this case, we're going to do an image import off of the Python website, and it gets displayed inline. And you can also display things from the local file system. Since web browsers can now also generally display video, you can do things like embed YouTube videos, and you can embed your own videos from the file system and play them inline, etc., etc., etc. So you have all the usual tricks of embedding. So you can even embed entire external sites, although one has to wonder why you'd want to do that. We've already sort of gone over the math stuff. And you can it's really nice math rendering. Something that kind of blew me away the first time I saw it, you can take advantage of the symbolic math manipulation library, SymPy, and load an extension SymPy printing. And then you can actually see equations written in Python get displayed properly in LaTeX format or in MathJax format. And then last but not least, you can load external code. So suppose you go to the matplotlib gallery and you find something that you're interested in. You want to see how this example runs so that you can import it and tweak it. You can say load that Python code off of a URL. The Python code gets introduced right into the IPython Notebook cell. And then when you run it, look at that. There you go. So there's all sorts of other nifty features, most of which you can figure out for yourself just by looking around at the various menus. Let's see, what else should I show you? You can save, download, etc. these notebooks. You can print them to HTML. So if you print view, you'll see a pretty printed output of everything. And the IPython folk are continuing to add all sorts of nifty features, so I guess stay tuned. Let's see, what else should we do? Let's come on over here and terminate that cluster. So terminate the screencast. And that's all she wrote, folks.